Good afternoon, good evening, hello everybody! We're so excited to see everybody coming through into the Zoom room and so excited to celebrate our 35th birthday anniversary with all of y'all. Congratulations on being here, congratulations on sharing the space with us, and we're so excited again to do a toast to Asian American Democrats of Texas, our 35th birthday anniversary. Woohoo! And yes, this is that sound is only mine, unfortunately, but if folks want to come off mute, you're happy to also woohoo alongside all of us. I'm Nicolette, Ardiente. My pronouns are she, her, sha. I will be your MC for the evening, so we'll just give it a moment as folks continue to pop into the Zoom room, into our virtual space. Feel free to share your name, your pronouns, where you're zooming in from, and especially if you're a candidate, we'd love to hear from you. Please drop your link to your website and where we can find more information about you. But really excited to kick off our Toast to 35 with all of you in support of the Asian American Democrats of Texas. So excited. And also, as a friendly reminder, we are live streaming this, so this will be up and live on our YouTube page shortly after the event. So feel free to come on camera, show your face, show some love, and really be excited for the next 2 hours of a jam-packed program where we are so excited to celebrate and share all of the amazing accomplishments that have brought AADT to the moment that we are in right now and what we're excited and looking forward to for the next 35 years and beyond. So again, thank you again for joining us this evening. Please feel free to pop your name, your pronouns, where you're zooming in from, and if you're a candidate, go ahead and drop your link in the chat. Excited to see folks coming through. Oh, I already see it. I actually see in the chat we have dun, 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 dun. Oh no, we are slowing down. We have Mr. Michael Jones running for re-election. Thank you for joining us, sir. I see dear friend and badass advocate in Dallas, the North Texas area, Dr. Danielle Lemmy, zooming in from Dallas. We have one of our Attorney General candidates, Mr. Joe Jaworski, none other, joining us this evening. So great to see you, Joe. And I always, whenever I say that, I think to myself, we did it, Joe. I can't wait to say that, when we get all of our Democratic candidates elected in and everything like that. Though I feel like that catchphrase tends to be there out and about. We did it, Joe. I think you'd appreciate that, Joe, so thanks. We've got Akash on the virtual room. Really glad to see you, Akash. Thanks for joining us this evening. And I am not a candidate, but I'm here to represent Mr. Michael Lang for Comptroller as his campaign director. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Appreciate it. Oh, we have to shout out, not only are there AAPIs also running on the ballot, we also have AAPIs running campaigns. So it's really excited to also see the powerhouse of folks that make sure that campaigns run smoothly, but the talent pool of AAPIs who are stepping up into these leadership positions to help candidates win successfully for their campaigns. Really just in awe, of course. We've got more folks coming in through the chat. So again, please feel free to drop your name, your pronouns, where you're zooming in from, whether you're in the state of Texas or maybe not at the moment. I'd love to hear from y'all. I also see Sophia Anwar, one of our AADT members, and also on the State Democratic Executive Committee with us, running for Justice of the Peace in Denton County. Ooh, North Texas. Really excited to have all of our folks coming on through. We're at about 6:08 right now. We'll take it one more minute before we'll go ahead and start with our program. I hope you have a lovely beverage, whatever that may be. Maybe non-alcoholic, alcoholic if you want. Sometimes I actually still have my coffee. So that's also going to be joining me tonight. But feel free to refresh that drink throughout the night. We will have our final toast at the end of the Zoom call, and really to celebrate AADT and all of you that are here joining us. So keep it handy. Excited again to be with all of y'all. I will say I came very Asian prepared. I wore my Filipino terno today, but I will admit it is itchy. So hopefully if you're in some type of traditional wear, hopefully it's not as itchy for you, but I'm really glad again that y'all are all here with us this evening. We'll go ahead and actually get started. We're at 6:09. And I'll actually, if we can draw us to the next slide. Awesome. Thank you again. And so, just a friendly, like, I guess, recap again. We're really excited not only to celebrate Asian American Democrats of Texas, our 35th birthday, we're also really excited to honor the APIs that are in this space alongside of us. Again, my name is Nicolette Ardiente. My pronouns are she, her, sha. I am the current president for Asian American Democrats of South Texas. So think of everything from San Antonio all the way down to the Valley. I've got you. And we've got amazing folks, all honestly from South Central Texas all the way down to South Texas, really uplifting and amplifying the API community and the API Democrats all throughout. I'm honored to serve as your master of ceremonies for this evening, and we really do have such a wonderful jam-packed program of surprises, sneak peeks, and videos from folks all around the state, really celebrating Asian American Democrats of Texas. So we'll actually take a moment here to highlight some of our sponsors for tonight's program. First and foremost, we have our organizing powerhouse. This is Judge Christine Vinh Weems, who is running for re-election of the 281st District Court out in Houston. We have our visionary sponsors. We have Judge Peter Sakai for re-election here in Bexar County, and also the one and only Honorable Robert W.G. We have our host committee members, and apologies, it looks really small on my screen, so hopefully it's not as small on your screen. But we have the North Texas Asian Democrats, our affiliates up north. We've got and I apologize because it really is small on my screen and I can't read it at the moment. We've got, let's see here. Trying to make it bigger. On my end, the Honorable Surendran K. Patel for Judge of the 240th District Court out in Houston. We've got Judge Silky Joshi for Harris County School Trustee. We have Mr. Daniel Lee for State Representative of House District 26. We have State Representative Barbara Griffin Hawkins for House District 120. State Senator Jose Menendez out of Senate District 26. We have one of our past presidents, Nabila Mansour. We have Dr. Audrey Nath. We have Swati Narayan. One of our AADT members, Lakshmi Ramakrishnan, and Shapnik Khan. Thank you again to all of our sponsors that made this evening such a huge success. And again, so excited for the program that we're going to have and share case with all of y'all tonight. We'll go on to the next slide. We'll quickly go over our executive committee, and you'll hear from them actually this evening. We've got Amatilla Contractor, our president, hostess with the mostest, and I'm so excited for her to jump on here in a little bit. We have our vice president, Wesley Liu, our secretary, David Nguyen, who's also behind the scenes making sure that this Zoom recording and live stream goes smoothly and just moving and grooving, and Michael Bouvier, who is our treasurer. I want to highlight our chapters that are with us and also around the state. First and foremost, we've got our North Texas Asian Democrats, and that is with Michelle Wong Cross. We have our Asian Democrats of Central Texas with our the one holding the reins down, Elif Panayak and Minami Krems as vice presidents. This is me with the Asian American Democrats of South Texas, and David Nguyen as our president for the Asian American Democrats of Texas in Houston. These are a lot of acronyms, folks. I forget how many acronyms we constantly say and move. And so with that, I'm actually excited to introduce our next special guest to talk a little bit about how AAD started in the first place. The Asian American Democrats of Texas weren't always called Asian American Democrats of Texas. So we're excited to hear from the Honorable Bob G. to talk more about it.
Greetings, dear friends. Congratulations on your 35th anniversary. I apologize for not being able to join you live tonight, but want to thank you for this opportunity to say a few words via recorded video. I've been asked to share with you, how did this all begin? Let's go back to the summer of 1990. 10 of us formed a rump group, wanting to make a difference and make ripples in the Houston political landscape. We had a fairly modest purpose: to show that Asian Americans had values that aligned with the Democratic Party and would support Democratic candidates, because our friends, the Asian American Republicans in Houston, had already done so. So we had no money and no organization, but were fueled by determination, adrenaline, coffee, and quite frankly, a touch of hubris and insanity. We formed a steering committee with no head, although I guess you could call me the lead organizer or instigator, as it were. 1990 was a pivotal election year where every statewide office was on the ballot, and hugely contested races were for governor and attorney general. So we threw our support behind Ann Richards for governor and Dan Morales for attorney general, and hosted a first-of-its-kind fundraiser for Dan Morales in a rooftop penthouse off the Southwest Freeway. So we learned an important message or lesson from that event. Imagery counts in politics. Our candidates for governor and attorney general won, as you know, and we were off. Our efforts were supported by the Democratic Party's Harris County leadership, particularly that of Chair Ken Benson. The next year, we finally organized, adopted a charter, and elected Judy Lee as our first president. We also decided to change our name. Our original name was Harris County Asian American Democrats. With the support of the group, I suggested changing it to Asian American Democrats of Texas. And the reason why was because we envisioned that one day our presence would be statewide and wanted to plant the seeds for the future. Although no one planned it at the time, some of us did enter public service. Judy was the first of many appointees of Ann Richards. She was tapped to serve on the State Board of Public Accountancy. And as you know, Gordon Quan eventually served on Houston City Council and as the city's mayor pro tem. In 1991, I left Houston permanently to move to Austin to serve as Ann Richards' chairman at the Public Utility Commission. After 6 years, I left the state to join the Clinton administration. But my heart has continued to remain with those of you in Texas. I salute our successors at your organization who've led over the years. Looking back, we taught our baby to crawl, but you all taught it to walk and sprint over the last 3 decades. Now you're running marathons. The 1990s version of me could only dare to imagine what you've built over time. So, happy anniversary, Asian American Democrats of Texas. May you continue serving as a beacon of hope and inspiration for another 35 years.
Thank you again to the Honorable Bob G for that wonderful and emotional video. I saw a couple of the comments come through. It means a lot to hear from our founders, like what they really envisioned when it came to what they started as a club. Again, it's this grassroots organizing idea of, what does our community need at this moment? How do we step up in a position to really serve in this capacity? And of course, how do we take this moment to really lead a community that we don't know what the future holds. We don't know exactly, what, if it's going to be good, if it's going to be bad, if people are going to accept us. How do we, again, show up the best way we know how? And it's through community members coming together, realizing there's a need for all of us to step up. There's a need for all of us to really take the reins and be like, how can we best show up for one another? And the Honorable Bob G is just such a wonderful explanation and a steward of that. And we constantly and hope that we'll constantly carry that legacy throughout. We'll have our next presenter. If we want to go ahead and get it onto the next slide. They are having a little bit of trouble bopping on, which I was trying to text at the same time. I would like to introduce to all of y'all our visionary sponsor, Judge Peter Sakai. So Judge Peter Sakai is the first Asian American Pacific Islander of descent to serve as the Bexar County judge here in San Antonio, Texas. When Judge Sakai's grandparents immigrated to the United States from Japan, they could have never imagined having all of the good he would accomplish. His grandparents were humble farmers when they left Japan. His maternal grandparents immigrated to South Texas, where they became one of the earliest Japanese in the Rio Grande Valley, and are featured in here in San Antonio in the Institute of Texan Cultures. His father's family immigrated to join the farming community in the Imperial Valley in California, and they were honest and hardworking citizens. Peter's dad, Pete, a high school student in California during the outbreak of World War II, and the entire family were victims of Executive Order 9066, the Japanese internment camps. He often told Peter about his experiences growing up and going to high school in these camps. So many people wrongly lost their property, their businesses, and their homes because of this abhorrent violation of their civil rights. The stories Pete and Peter has compelled him to defend the Constitution and the rule of law so that no one else would have to go through what his family and so many other Asian Americans had to endure. Driven by his family and his passion for justice, Peter graduated with the prestigious University of Texas in 1976 with a bachelor's degree and the University of Texas School of Law in 1979. We will have Judge Peter Sakai come on, but he's unfortunately still having some technical difficulties. So we're gonna actually move to the next presenter, and we'll circle back with Judge Sakai. Let's go to the next slide, please.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Amatullah. I just want to give it up for Nicolette, who's doing an incredible job emceeing for us so far. It's a thankless job, so we really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being our host tonight. I am so excited to introduce our next speaker, who has really paved the way for what AADT is today. He is a visionary, a community leader, one of our founders, the second ever Asian American to sit on Houston City Council, former Mayor Pro Tem. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome former council member Gordon Quan.
What a wonderful occasion as we celebrate 35 years of the Asian American Democrats. I remember when we first got started. It was in a dining room at Judy Lee's house, and there's just a few of us getting together with the idea that Asian Americans needed to have a voice in government, and that we believed in the progressive ideas of the Democratic Party. We've come a long way in that time, and I'm so proud of those who have taken on the challenge to represent our community and to make our voice heard, and a voice that it needs to be heard, and leaders that need to be developed. Asian American Democrats has been that bridge, and as we celebrate these years, we still have great challenges ahead. We know what the legislature did last term, but yet we have young people willing to take the challenge now, to run for office, to be leaders in our community. Good luck to you. Wish you the best. Have a great celebration.
Awesome. Thank you so much to the Honorable Gordon Quan, former co-founder of AADT, but also a Houston City Council member. We really appreciate the stewardship y'all have done over the years to bring AADT to where we are today. Gordon is still a pillar of our community and continues to give back to all of us and also give us guidance over the years. So very much appreciated to, again, the Honorable Gordon Quan for joining us via video. So with that being said, I'm actually going to ask if we can go back to one more slide. I do have Judge Sakai on the phone with us. He's through my phone right now, so I just want to get a double check or a tap check. Judge, go ahead and just say something so we can make sure everybody can hear you.
All right. Well, let me say hello to all the Asian American Democrats of Texas. This is Judge Peter Sakai.
All right.
Am I coming through?
I think you are coming through, sir. You can go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and get started.
All right. Well, Nicolette, let me just say thank you for the invitation to give a toast. That's what I believe I've been asked to do. And but let me just say a few words. The Asian American Democrats of Texas, this is 35 years of service and commitment and hard work obviously for Asian American Democrats. So let's recognize the founders of the Asian American Democrats of Texas. I was there. I was there with Robert G. I was there with Gordon Quan, Mark Lee, Judy Lee, and many others who laid the foundation for the Asian American Democrats of Texas and the tremendous success in getting Asian American Democrats elected in the state of Texas. Let's recognize the new generation of Asian American Democrat leaders like Jean Wu, Gina Ortiz-Jones. So at this time, Nicolette, let us raise our glass or raise our hand in solidarity and let us toast to the Asian American Democrats of Texas. May Asian American Democrats of Texas continue to prosper and grow as a power and beacon for justice and equality for all Texans. Thank you for allowing me. Let's keep it going. And we've got another 35 years to make sure that Asian Americans are an integral part of our American society. And here in the state of Texas, we have arrived and we will prevail. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to y'all tonight.
Woohoo! Thanks, Judge. That was good. I didn't expect that one. Thank you again, Judge. I'll go ahead and hang up. We'll talk real soon.
Right. Okay, thank you guys. Have a blessed evening.
Okay, thanks, Judge. That's a new one. I've never done that through my cell phone and a Zoom call and a live stream. Anyways, thank you for the first toast of the night, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more toasts for the evening. So we're actually going to move on to our next speaker. And I believe he is in the room with us this evening. I have the honor of also choosing another Bexar County San Antonio powerhouse to be joining with us here today. Former Mayor Ron Nirenberg is here with us this evening. Ron Nirenberg was the former mayor of San Antonio, the fastest growing city with the 7th largest population in the United States. He was raised in Austin, Texas, and attended college in San Antonio. Former Mayor Nirenberg is the son of an immigrant from Southeast Asia and the grandson of immigrants from Eastern Europe who passed through Ellis Island. Through his personal experiences, Mayor Nirenberg developed a core commitment to civic participation and the universal values of liberty, justice, and equal opportunity for every person. He is focused on making key infrastructure investments necessary to accommodate the growth of San Antonio, which is expected to nearly double in population by 2040. And this forward-looking approach really drives the mayor's vision of a compassionate community with a globally competitive economy. This is a longer bio than I've expected.
You don't have to read it all, Nicolette. Really.
Thanks, Mayor.
Yeah,
we'll throw it over to you.
Thank you so much, Nicolette. It's great to see you. I am actually in the center of the universe right now as far as democratic politics, and that is in Washington, D.C., trying to ensure that Asian American voices are uplifted across our country. But I want to first thank you and the Asian American Democrats of Texas for paving the way for leaders like me and you to lead our communities forward. Gordon, Peter, Jean, so many people who laid the foundation of leadership that allowed me to come into office in 2017 and leave in 2025 as a 4-term mayor, the first Asian American mayor of San Antonio, where we work to uplift the voices of our entire community and ensure that we can achieve the American dream in South Texas by ensuring equal opportunity and educational opportunity and thriving communities in every part of our city. Thank you so much to the Asian American Democrats of Texas for looking out for the next generation and making it possible for us to take our leadership to the national level. I was very proud to be a surrogate for the first ever Asian American Democratic nominee for President of the United States, Kamala Harris. So there is so much more that we can do to exhibit our democratic values and how they uplift all of us. And so I'm up here in DC right now just for the day, but the folks up here know that Asian American leadership in Texas is growing. It's actually also growing in Middle America. So as I give a toast here to the 35th anniversary of leadership for the Asian American Democrats of Texas, and oh, by the way, I'm on the ballot again, Bexar County Judge, in March of 2023 or 2026. But I also want to invite you, I also want to introduce you to someone who's doing the same kind of work for Asian Americans in the middle of America in Ohio. And that is now the second term mayor, Aftab Pureval of Cincinnati, Ohio. He wants to give a big salute to Asian American Democrats of Texas.
What's up, Asians? How we doing? I'm hanging out with my boy Ron Nirenberg here in DC. I'll be very brief, but I'm so proud of you. 35 freaking years. That's amazing. I wish we had something like this in Ohio. I'm a Midwestern Asian. I'm half Tibetan and half Indian. And I'm so jealous of you Texas Asians because my crazy ass parents, everybody's lactose intolerant, decided to go to the middle of the country, the cheese capital of the world. No idea what they were thinking. Thank you so much for all of the work that you're doing to flip Texas blue, to continue to advocate for these local electeds. Look, guys, there's like 6 big city Asian mayors in the country, and I'm so grateful to Ron for his leadership, not just in the state of Texas, but also throughout the country, fighting hard for Asian representation at all levels of government. Ron is also the strongest mayor in the country. I'm sure you guys have seen this guy's biceps. He is breaking stereotypes left and right. And I'm so proud to be his friend and so proud to celebrate with you guys all. Cheers, and back to Ron.
Happy 35th anniversary, AADT. Many more years of success to come. God bless you all.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Great job. That was, yes, mayors squared of all the amazing things. What did someone write? API mayoral representation. That was phenomenal. So thank you again to Mayor Ron Nirenberg. He made me blush too because I did not expect that. He did say he had a special guest. So again, thank you, Mayor, for joining us, and also Mayor Pureval for joining us. This is amazing. With that being said, I'm excited to hand over the mic to one of our amazing AADT committee members that helped put on this amazing Toast to 35 with all of us. I'll pass the mic over to Lakshmi Ramakrishnan.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lakshmi, and I am based in Sugar Land in Fort Bend County. And I am excited to be introducing 2 of our AAPI candidates for the United States Congress. It's just a really great time for AAPIs to be running. It's so exciting to see so many candidates step up and choose to run in these difficult races. First up, we have Dr. Regina Vanburg, who's running for Congressional District 21 in the Texas Hill Country. Dr. Vanburg, are you on? Welcome. Please go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad to be here. I'm Dr. Regina Vanburg. I'm running for Congress in Texas 21, and I have a stump prepared, but this is such an amazing event. I want to do things a little bit differently tonight. I'm going to talk a little bit more than I usually would about my background. I grew up in Bandera, Texas, and if you know where that is, you know that it is a teeny tiny 900-person town. It is deeply conservative, it is deeply rural, and is just outside of San Antonio. And as you would well imagine, it's maybe not always the most inclusive place to grow up. So there was 2 things I never said when I was growing up out here. I'm a Democrat and my family is Indonesian. And that's because being other out here wasn't always welcome, and sometimes it was even unsafe. Beyond that, my father isn't just an immigrant, he was also a refugee. So that meant a profound and immediate appreciation for the stable, healthy democracy that once represented this nation. So with that gratitude, there was this really quiet rule in our house that the way to honor the new country was not to dwell on the old one. Instead, we focused on what we could contribute. So in my household, that was service. Both of my parents are veterans. Both of them were in civil service after they hung up their uniforms. And that was the expectation, that you serve this nation. And that is the expectation that has shaped me. I have a double major in government and history from UT Austin. I earned my master's in counseling from St. Edward's. I've got a doctorate in psychology from Our Lady of the Lake University. I am a psychologist, I'm a data analyst, I'm a business owner, and I've spent my entire adult life serving our community. My father and his parents always told me that I was lucky to be an American, and I believe that they are right. That's exactly why I'm running, because what it means to be an American is under fire. The values that hold us together, fairness, dignity, opportunity, all the things that they came here for, are being tested. And when those values are at stake, it is our responsibility to step forward. My campaign centers on addressing inequality in wealth, in education, in resources, and in civil liberties by protecting the very foundation of equality itself, the right to vote in free and fair elections. Now, your organization is done an amazing job. I'm so excited to be here toasting your 35-year legacy of doing what is so necessary, especially for candidates like myself, building community, cultivating leadership, and letting people like me know that we do have a home in this movement, we have a place in this party, and that our voice is essential in the halls of power. So you're going to see me in the streets, you're going to see me in our communities, you're definitely going to see me on the ballot. My name is Regina Vanburg. I'm running for Congress in Texas 21. And again, I just want to say thank you for your 35 years of leadership, courage, and empowerment.
Thank you, Dr. Vanburg, and good luck to you in your campaign.
Thank
Next
you.
up, we have candidate for Congressional District 33, Zishan Hafiz.
Thank you for inviting me. It is an honor to stand with you as we celebrate the 35th anniversary of the Asian American Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Caucus of the Texas Democratic Party. What a mouthful. I actually asked my campaign manager if I had to say the whole name, but it needs to be said. For decades, you have worked to engage our communities, register voters, build coalitions, and make sure that Asian Texans have a political home. You worked hard to build a path for candidates like me to step forward, and I'm here because of that foundation. My name is Zishan Hafiz, and I'm running for Congress in Texas's 33rd Congressional District. I'm an Asian American candidate and the son of immigrants. I came to this country seeking opportunity. I also came of age during the most defining moments for Asians, Muslims, and South Asian Americans. I was a freshman in college on September 11th. I was one of the only Asian American students on campus and the only Muslim. Overnight, I saw how quickly fear could turn into suspicion, profiling, and surveillance, as I'm sure many of you experienced yourselves. I was called a terrorist and discarded as an outcast. I watched new laws like the Patriot Act strip away civil liberties in the name of security. I saw families in our community questioned, detained, and silenced. Out of that climate, ICE was created. Those policies have left deep scars that our community still carries. The same scars of the internment camps of yesteryear are back now with for-profit detention centers going after more Asian communities. That experience shaped who I am and why I'm running. It taught me that if we do not speak up, others will define us. It taught me that civil rights can be lost faster than they are won. I started my activism then joining the NAACP, the Democratic Party, and co-founding Sarasota Openly Addresses Racism. It led me to get my law degree from Georgetown, my MBA from the University of Virginia, and it taught me that the dark chapter that began with 9/11 must finally come to an end. That is why I'm committed to abolishing ICE, ending the Patriot Act, closing for-profit detention centers, stopping the scary move towards denaturalization, and restoring the basic promise that no one should live in fear of their own government. But this campaign is also about the economic reality families face every day. The affordability crisis crushing working people all across America. Rent is rising, food costs are rising, healthcare is unaffordable, and wages are not keeping up. I'm running to raise the minimum wage to a living $20 an hour, expanding affordable housing by supporting the $1.5 trillion investment in 10 million affordable housing units, supporting small businesses, and building an economy where families can breathe again. I'm also running to speak with moral clarity about human rights around the world. As Asian Americans, we know more than anyone else the consequences of silence when communities are targeted and dehumanized. I'm calling for peace, justice, and an end to the genocide in Gaza. When we defend human rights abroad, we strengthen the safety and dignity of every community here at home. Being an Asian Texan Democrat means bringing our shared history, our resilience, and our values into the halls of power. It means recognizing that we are the fastest growing racial community in the United States and that Texas now has the third largest AAPI population in the country. Our political power is rising, and only if more Asian Texans run for office, step into leadership, and support each other. As we look forward to 2026 and beyond, let's remember the long history of engagement and activism that brought us to this 35th anniversary. Let's build on it with courage and unity. I'm running to ensure that our voices are never ignored again, and that our children grow up in a Texas where they are fully seen and protected. Thank you, and congratulations on 35 years of service and leadership. The next 35 will be even stronger because of the people on this call. I am Zishan Hafiz, ZishanForTexas.com, running for Congress in Texas's 33rd Congressional District, and I hope to earn your support. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you so much, Zishan, for joining us. Our congressional candidates so far, amazing work. We're really excited for the future as we get ready for the primaries and get into November, but having API representation at the congressional level is so exciting. Next up, we have a special video presentation from one of our past presidents, Minnie Timmaraju. We'll go ahead and get her up on the screen.
Hi, Asian American Democrats of Texas. This is Minnie Timmaraju, former president, co-president, and president of AADT from the 2000s. I want to shout out my colleague and co-leader, AJ Durrani, who I think is still really active with you guys. Sending greetings from Arizona, where I am, doing some quick work for Reproductive Freedom for All, where I am still the president and CEO. I will always be a Texas Democrat at heart. I want to thank you for everything you do for the party, everything you do for all of us. Texas is in a democracy and reproductive freedom crisis. Your work every day as part of this organization gives me hope that we are on the pathway to regain our fundamental freedoms in the state. I remember joining the party, reinvigorating AADT, AJ and I lobbying the state party to make sure we were official caucus. We had our SDEC seats through AADT. That was a big deal because it was important for us to make sure Texans and Texas Democrats understood that Asian Americans are a really critical constituency for our state, for our party. With the attacks we're facing in the state right now from Greg Abbott, Ken Paxton, this really problematic state government, it's now more important than ever that Democrats stand up for diversity, equity, and the full range of Texans of all backgrounds who are part of fighting for our rights. We've known that lesson for a long time. It's really been sharpened and honed, I think, early in my career by my work with AADT. Also, want to shout out, I think one of the original founders, our good friend Gordon Quan, our good friend Bob G. There's been a lot of great leaders who come out of this work. I know some of you that I'm talking to right now are some of those great leaders today and future leaders of tomorrow. Once again, congratulations on your anniversary. I'm so proud to be an AADT alumni. I'm so proud to have come up through Texas Democrats. I'm so excited for all the big races and great work you're going to do in 2026, especially in the Senate, how we're going to win back the House nationwide. Thank you for everything you do. I'm sorry I couldn't join you. I look forward to meeting many of you in person on the campaign trail next year. Take care.
Awesome. Thank you, Minnie, for spending some time with us this evening. I do want to take a moment to really highlight our past presidents are some of the most badass AAPI powerhouses that have built AADT what it is today. So I want to make a special mention for all of our past presidents, Judy Lee, Judge Tony Inverson, Ben Tran, again, Minnie Timmaraju, AJ Durrani, Razi Azaduddin, and our most recent president, Nabila Mansour, who actually still represents us at the State Democratic Executive Committee and is the chairwoman of the Rules Committee. So you know things get done when APIs are in these seats of leadership. So excited to, resolutions. So, you know, one of the powerhouses. Apologies for that. But again, API leaders are part of the Texas Democratic Party, making sure that, you know, our voices really are heard throughout the Texas Democratic Party. I want to take a moment to highlight I didn't realize how long it took for us to actually get a seat at the SDC. So really, really honored that Minnie was able to share a little bit more about that. At this time, I'm going to pass it over to our next presenter to introduce our next speaker of the evening. Lakshmi, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you. Next up, it's my pleasure to introduce Justice Tina Clinton. She currently sits on the 5th District Court of Appeals, Place 9. Which is an intermediate appellate court for the state of Texas. Previously, she served as the presiding judge for Criminal District Court 1 and County Criminal Court 8, both located in Dallas County, Texas. She has also served as a municipal judge, defense attorney, and prosecutor. As of 2025, she started her 19th year as a judge. So welcome, Justice Clinton.
Justice, we can't hear you. Oh. Justice, can you hear us? Because we can't hear you. I'll also take this moment to share that Justice Tina Clinton is the highest ranking Asian American judge in the entire state of Texas. And we are so honored to have her with us this evening. And she's signaling the thing of like, wait, I want to talk though. Okay, it says you're, no. Do you have a Bluetooth in? Maybe just unplug it out or try calling Nicolette. You can call me and I will happily do your audio. Let me call you. Yes. All right, Judge, the mic is yours.
I can't believe that I'm on Zoom and I have to do this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your patience. My name is Tina Clinton, and as it was stated, I am a justice on the 5th District Court of Appeal, and I have been there since January 1st of this year. I serve in this current position Dallas, Collin, Kaufman, Rockwall, Hunt, and Grayson counties. My race in 2024 garnered over 1.5 million voters over those 6 counties. Of the 8 Democrats that were running each in our individual races, I was the only one to cross the finish line first, and I won by 1,596 votes. One of my counties, Collin County, is one of the fastest growing Asian American populations in this state. And as one of the previous speakers noted, we are the 3rd largest with the Asian American ethnic group that's growing behind California and New York. Texas is the 3rd. That means that we have amazing potential, not only to represent a very fast, large growing ethnic group, but also an opportunity for Asian American leaders to bring to our communities our perspectives and our experiences that makes government work better for all Texans. I'm very proud to stand with my fellow brothers and sisters in not only representing Asian Americans, but all Texans, and by making this state a better state because we have decided to step up to leadership. I'm grateful that our community has built a beautiful array of electeds and that we are currently adding to our numbers. I want to congratulate AADT on 35 successful years. And I also want to thank you for all the support that you have given me over these many years. Thank you for all the work you have done. And I am looking tremendously forward to the amazing future that we will have together.
Thank you, Justice. Okay, I'm gonna hang up. Okay, no, you hung up. She hung up. Okay, that's great. Thank you, Justice Clinton, for joining us. She's cackling because we get it. Yeah. Thank you again, Justice Clinton, for jumping on. Honestly, it is such an honor that we do have an Asian American that's on the Fifth Court of Appeals. Like the idea that that you're setting up a path forward for folks who may not have always thought, oh, could this be something for me? Yes, maybe I wanted to be a doctor. Maybe I wanted to be a lawyer. I don't know. No, there are more aspirations that are meant for our community. And you being the first is definitely not the last. And we know that you continue to open doors for other folks all throughout the state of Texas to run for office. And we're just so honored with your support as always, but always your guidance over the years. So thank you again, Justice, for joining us. All right. That brings us to our next special. Yes, Justice Clinton said, I will definitely not be the last. We're so excited for that. I'm going to pass it over to our hostess and the mostess, who is making sure everything is running smoothly on the Zoom end and into the live stream, to actually kick us off into our special award ceremony. And I'll pop it over to you, David.
Thank you so much, Nicolette, and thank you to everyone who is tuning in, either on YouTube, here in Zoom, or wherever you are. Thank you so much for spending your time with us, with the Asian American Democrats of Texas. My name is David Wynn, and I'm the state secretary, and as well as the president of our Houston chapter. And I'm so honored to be in this position, have the opportunity to work with so many incredible people like Lakshmi, Amatullah, Maha, Michael, Nicolette, Nabila, so many folks that I just can't name, that makes this community really special. And to steal the words of Nicolette that she's used before, this is truly a labor of love that really put this together and made this effort to have this special evening to celebrate such a huge milestone for our caucus. And so it really means a lot personally as an Asian American, a proud Asian American Democrat. And also just to be with community with all of you. So thank you so much. Now I have the distinct honor to introduce our first award for tonight. So the first recipient will be for our inaugural Thomas J. Lee Public Service Award. So a little bit about the award. This award is named after Thomas J. Lee. He's the first Asian American and Pacific Islander ever elected to the Texas legislature. And he opened the doors for our community at a time when representation was almost non-existent. And his legacy continues to guide our work today. And today we would like to recognize a leader who exemplifies that legacy through service, courage, and steadfast commitment to all of our communities. State Representative Gene Wu, who represents House District 137 in Southwest Houston, has dedicated his career to strengthening families, defending children, and ensuring that every Texan has a fair chance. A former Harris County prosecutor and a respected advocate for juvenile justice and child welfare reform, he has built his public service on both compassion and principle. Rep. Wu is also currently serving as the chair of the Texas House Democratic Caucus and was elected by his colleagues to lead them through some of the most challenging moments in recent legislative history. And he played such a prominent role, as we all know, in the statewide fight over Texas redistricting, or gerrymandering, as we all know, working with fellow Democrats to call national attention to the impact on these maps to communities of color like AAPI community. And throughout his tenure, he has been one of the most vocal defenders of the AAPI community in Texas, speaking out against discrimination, standing up for immigrant families, and ensuring that our voices are not sidelined in the policymaking process. And his resolve and clarity have made him a trusted champion, not just for AANHPIs only, but for all Texans who believe in equity and fairness. And so for his leadership, his advocacy, and his unwavering dedication to public service, we are proud to honor him today. And so please join me in welcoming the recipient of the Thomas J. Lee Public Service Award, State Rep.
Hi, this is State Representative Gene Wu, and first of all, I want to apologize for not being with you in person. Unfortunately, because of my additional responsibilities, I have to do a lot of traveling and have to attend a lot of meetings. And to Asian American Democrats of Texas, thank you all so much for all the work that you've done. Thank you for this award, especially on your 35th anniversary and the first inaugural Thomas Jefferson Lee Award. I'm truly humbled and flattered by this. But let me say this, our fight is far from over. This is not the time to celebrate, but this is a time to see this as a reminder that the fight is far from over and we in fact need more people to stand up and fight for our community. For those of you who follow me and know me and you've heard me talk, you know that one of my greatest passions is fighting for the Asian American community and fighting against the hate that has built up against us. And it's not just the alien land law, it's not just many of the other things that we think of, but it's also anti-immigration rhetoric. It's also the way ICE is being used. It's also the way our people are being talked about. And we have a far, far journey to travel because frankly, we haven't been here that long and we haven't been fighting that long. And I know many of our community members want to be able to just stick their head in the sand and saying, if I just be quiet, this will all go away. But you know, and I know that that's not true. And you know, and I know that if we are silent, if we bow to them, it will not result in less hate. It will only result in more hate and more violence. Our goal isn't to just change what happens in the legislatures, in Congress, in the White House. Our goal should be to change what happens in our own society. That's my dream. I want a future where my sons do not have to answer the question, but where are you really from? Because they don't believe that Asian Americans can truly be Americans. We want to put this to rest. Not only fight against legislative discrimination, but fight to end the myth of the minority, to end racial stereotypes and prejudices against our members. I hope that the future that we have, the future that we're going to be fighting for, is one where we can call America our home. That this is the land that we love, this is our nation, and that we're not going anywhere. And we're going to prove that by fighting as hard as we
Apologies for that, y'all. It looks like the video kind of went blank. we're going to take a quick pause and reshare the video from where we left off. Give us 1 minute. In the meantime, I hope everybody's doing well. We're already almost 1 hour into our program. How are y'all feeling? Are y'all excited? Are you pumped up that there are APIs that are doing the things? Yes, absolutely. I see Sophia Anwar with sparkles, and I feel better about myself right now. So this is the type of yes. This is the good little respite that we needed. Thank you, Sophia. Only for me. As we try to reshare back up. Thank you again, David, for doing all this background. Let's give a round of applause for David, because doing the Zoom and the live stream is definitely not only a labor of love, but a brain fart, a brain, and all the things to make it work. Let's see. So, David, we do see the presentation. We don't see the video yet.
Okay, I will share that now. Let's see if it works.
Apologize for not being with you in person. My additional responsibilities, I have to do a lot of traveling.
All right, looks like we're going to shift away from the Canva presentation of our portion. Let's try to get the video up just as itself. I'm telling you, it's such a good video. I was so excited for it. So I really want to make sure all of y'all can see it with us. So thank you so much for your patience as we get through this. All right. And we lost David. All right, hold on one.
It's not a good Zoom call without a few technical glitches. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. What does it look like? It looks like he lost internet, so of course it wouldn't be a Zoom call live stream without something happen. Let me see if I can get the video up. But actually, while we do that, we're gonna go on and move to our next presenter. So Amatola, I'll pass the mic over to you.
Great, thank you. This next award means a great deal to me personally, because with this award, we honor the life and legacy of Navid Zanjani. We recognize his leadership, his dedication, and his commitment to celebrating life and his service to the Asian Texan Democrats across the state. As a member of our caucus, an active community leader, and a friend we could always lean on, Navid made a profound impact on the AANHPI community in Texas. His absence is deeply felt by the many who knew him as a friend and brother. He will be truly missed, and we remain committed to carrying forward the fight that he so passionately championed. And so, I am actually so excited to be able to introduce a surprise presentee for our next award. And so, to present our next award, the Navid Zanjani Community Impact Award, ladies and gentlemen, Beto O'Rourke.
Hey there. I wish I could be with you all in person, but since I can't, I'm beaming my congratulations to you on your 35th anniversary. And a big thank you for all of the great work that you have done to engage Democrats in every one of the 254 counties of Texas, and writing nobody off and taking no one for granted based on their country of origin, their ethnicity, their race, or their geography, or really anything that people could use to exploit the differences between us to create more divisions in this state and in this country. Because what matters now more than any time in our history is finding ways to come together, to build the broadest, most united front possible to ensure that we win political power, to do great things for our fellow Texans and our fellow Americans, and to stop some of the really awful things that are happening in our country and to our state right now. So I want to say thank you to each and every single one of you who has put in the work, whether you've been doing it for 35 years or whether you just got on board today. Big thanks to the ever shy and quiet Nicolette for reaching out to me to invite me to be part of this, to Amatullah and all of our friends who are part of the caucus and who are doing so much great work out there right now. I also want to take a chance to recognize the friends and family of Navid Zanjani, who was such a core part of our team in the governor's race in 2022, and with whom I volunteered on other campaigns and for other causes along the years and across the state, and especially in Houston and the places where we needed to meet the people who could make the difference in big elections. And it is because of Navid's work that we saw so many victories, like Harris County really solidly turning blue in 2018 and then doubling down on that in 2022. Big wins for labor and for democratic and progressive causes across the state, including in some unlikely places. His commitment to the cause, his determination, his drive is the example that we need to live by right now. And so in his memory, I ask each and every single one of us to do all that we can with what we have, wherever we happen to be in this great state today and every single day for the next 11 months, more or less, until we can claim victory in November of 2026. This is the election of all elections for all the marbles in the country and in Texas. And if we prevail, if we go out there and meet our fellow Texans where they are, if we take not a single one of them for granted and bring each and every single one of them into these elections, into our democracy, into the polling places and the voting booths, literally, and help them to decide the outcome of these elections, then I know that we are going to come through. So I stand with you shoulder to shoulder, walk with you in lockstep over the course of these next 11 months, and I will see you out there. Wherever you happen to be and wherever I happen to be, we're going to be in this together for Texas, for this country, and for one another. So keep up the fight, keep the faith, and God bless each and every single one of you. Adios.
And to accept this award on behalf of Navid's family, I want to invite his sister, Mariam Zanjani, to please say a few words.
Hi, everyone. I'm also here with my mom.
Hello.
Thank you all for all the love and support. It really I'm sorry. It really means a lot because Navid has he put all of his time and effort and life into making sure that Houston is blue. And he was always very open-minded to everything. And thank you all for being there for him and with him and fighting with him. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I don't think Navid would be happy with all these tears we're shedding.
Yeah, he would actually be like, "Why are you crying?"
But we really hope we can make him proud, and we really appreciate you guys for being here to receive this award.
Thank you so much.
Nicolette, you're gonna have to help us out in how to transition for this.
I know, but I honestly, thank you again to the Zanjani family for joining. We really do. We also have a plaque we'll be mailing over to y'all to really commemorate Navid. And again, like, please know, all of us, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be the leaders we are today without Navid. And thank you. Thank you for really, for being with us tonight. And I'm so glad we can honor him.
Thank you all so much.
Awesome. We did also have a slide for Navid, but we're kind of slow. We'll get it up here momentarily. At this time, I'm gonna pass it over to Maha.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Maha, and it is my honor to introduce our AANHPI Alley Award recipient, Congressman Al Green. Congressman Green has long been a steadfast voice for justice, equality, and human dignity, both in Houston and on the national stage. Throughout his career, he has championed civil rights, fought against discrimination in all its forms, and consistently advocated for communities whose voices are too often overlooked. He currently represents Congressional District 9 here in Texas, and his commitment to uplifting AANHPI communities has been intentional and unwavering, from supporting policies that protect immigrant families to standing firmly against hate and violence. He reminds us that true allyship is not passive, it's active, it's courageous, and rooted in compassion. And I'm really honored to be presenting him today, and so please join me in welcoming and honoring our AANHPI Ally Award recipient, Congressman Al Green.
Well, thank you very much, Maha. And I'm most appreciative. Your kind words are very heartwarming. And I want you to know that it means a lot to me to have this preeminent award accorded me. I am amazed at 35 years of service and that the community is so engaged and so involved. The number of persons that have gone to the national level, and just the number of persons who are engaged across the state in various aspects of politics. But here's what I'd like to encourage you and thank you for doing, and that is for just being you, for not giving up your language, for not giving up your dress, for not giving up your food, for bringing your culture into our culture. We have a symbiosis that we've developed simply because you have been among us, with us, helping us, a part of us. And that's important. I'm grateful that you have done what you've done, and I want you to continue to help us have a more beautiful America, because you make America a more beautiful America. I thank you. And I look forward to continuing to be a part of a community that has embraced me like a family member. It means a lot to me. So God bless all. I look forward to seeing you in person. So thank you again. And please, I give my regards to all of our friends.
Thank you so much, Congressman.
Thank you.
Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and take it over to our next speaker, next presenter, to introduce our next speaker. Becca, the mic is yours.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us this evening and for this very exciting event, 35 years of organizing in Texas. And I could not be more excited to introduce our next speaker. In 2020 and 2022, I was very surprised to learn that we have never, as Democrats, elected an Asian woman beyond the municipal level, aside from, of course, our incredible Justice Clinton. But when we talk strictly legislatively, we have not crossed that barrier. And I remember very clearly when I came up short on election night, feeling like I had failed not just my district, but everyone in the Asian community in Texas. And so when my amazing friend Pooja, who is a superstar, who has been doing the work, was the Travis County Party chair, and is going to be our very first Democratic Asian woman elected to the state level. When she decided to do this, words cannot express how excited I was and how excited I am to support her. Pooja is the very best of us. She leads by example. She leads with her heart. And she shows us what can happen when you are determined and smart and willing to do the work. And most of all, passionate about representing the community that you love, that loves you so much. And so today, receiving the AANHPI Trailblazer Award, the incredibly deserving Pooja Sethi.
Should I speak? Hi everyone, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, sorry, I am in a car. We had a meet and greet for me tonight, and I thought 5 people were going to show up, and so I said, "Oh, I'll definitely be home on time." And we had a lot more than that, and then I hit traffic. But I'm in an HEB parking lot, and but I am honestly, thank you, Becca. I do want to tell you all, if it's not for so many of you on this call and for Becca, I wouldn't be here after Vice President Harris lost last cycle in the way that she did. I remember coming out, and Becca was one of the people that I called, and I said, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to run because nobody wants to elect a woman named Kamala, who we all know is half Indian. What's the point? And Becca and some other people looked up the numbers, and they said, Pooja, your district went 60% to her. Get out of your feelings, get up and do it. And so, honestly, we can't do this without each other, and I appreciate you all so much. And it's weird to get also Asian women, so it's weird for us to get awards. We work hard for them, and then when we get them, we're like, oh, we don't deserve this. But I truly think that thank you. I'm gonna cry, but I also want to say, like, I wish I could. I don't know if you ever saw Mean Girls. It's one of my favorite movies, but break off the crown and give it to every one of you, because I think everyone on this call, we all lift each other up. And I feel like a lot of us have a similar story where we weren't raised in politics, right? Or if we're in this space and we're sitting here and our parents are wondering what we did with our lives and why we didn't go work at that engineering firm they wanted us to. But it's because of you all that I really, I know that we support each other. And Becca knows I do this, and so does Nicolette and every one of you. But I will share my personal cell, tell them to share my personal cell. I mean, I don't go anywhere alone. And my point is, if you ever want to go anywhere, if you come to Austin, if you want to run for office, when I'm in the ledge, because Becca is going to kill me if I say that otherwise, my office is always open, because if I could be the first Asian Dem woman, but to quote Vice President Harris, I definitely won't be the last. And hopefully one of you will have me retire soon. So thank you. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Pooja. And thank you for what you are doing for the 2.4 million Asian Texans who have never seen a woman who looks like them representing the Democratic side in the state ledge. You're making history.
And thank you, Becca, for picking up my 9 a.m. freak out morning calls.
They
Almost
are like
every
my
morning
alarm
lately.
clock.
All right. Thank you all.
All right. And then Nicolette, do you want me to just keep steamrolling ahead, or perfect? All right. So one thing that did come from losing a state house race is that I did eventually end up getting to be your representative at the DNC. And I cannot tell you how much of an honor it is to do this work for y'all. And frankly, we know something that it's not a secret, right? Nobody's giving us political power. It's ours and we have to take it. And we are so fortunate to have the next speakers with us who are representative leaders of the DNC. We have Roger Lau, Executive Director of the DNC, who has made his own incredible strides and lifted our community along the way. Roger, I mean, how could we even thank you for your leadership, the work that you do, not just for Democrats, but for Democratic Asians, people who are so easily overlooked? I will say that Roger was one of the very first people I called when we were looking at trying to help Jean break quorum. And without Roger's help, without Shasti, without Mama Vel, we would have never gotten it off the ground. And that is just the truth. So thank you. And Roger, take it away.
Well, Becca, thank you. And thank you all for letting me join all of you tonight. I was sneaking in, listening to all of you and listening to Congressman Green and Pooja and all of you tell your stories. And I didn't know Navid, but hearing his family tell his story and seeing all your beautiful faces, it is truly, 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 truly an inspiration. Let me just start by saying that happy anniversary, happy 35th anniversary. If this is your presidential year. And I say that because you have to be 35 years old to run for president. And now the AADT is ready to go, right? You guys are, obviously taking ass and taking names. And I'm just so appreciative of all that you're doing. So happy presidential year, happy 35th anniversary. Amatullah, Wesley, Dave, I saw you, signal or send a chat over. Good to see you. And obviously, thank you all who are on this call, for being a part of this, community of Democrats, community of Asian American Democrats, doing all that we do to, lift up our communities, our voices, and obviously Democrats everywhere. Our community is obviously incredibly important. I want to give a special shout out to Becca. As Becca said, I had heard about her for a long time, but I didn't have a chance to actually connect with her and meet with her until a random phone call on a Saturday, right in the beginning process of this crazy Republican effort to just, redistrict and, steal our democracy. And, she had called, and it was the first time we'd ever talked. It was a cold call. I took the call, and I was excited to finally connect with her because I had heard so much about her. But man, the energy and passion that she brought to the conversation, the commitment that she had to fighting this, what we knew and what she knew was going to be an incredibly difficult fight, was just inspiring. I mean, people were telling me that, this is going to be tough and there's no way we're going to win. And she's like clear-eyed about this. She's like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I believe that we can win, but only if we fight. And I know that we can fight. And she said, I know Jean Woo is the person to lead this fight. Now, as an Asian American, I don't know if this is something you have ever experienced before. I often hear, people tell me that, I'm not sure that you're the leadership type. I'm not sure that, you have the strength of what a leader looks like. I don't know if you have the charisma. And I started hearing things from Texas where people weren't sure about about Jean. And through the course of that several month fight, I think Jean really rose to the occasion and really showed and demonstrated what leadership and American leadership and Asian American leadership can look like. And I know a lot of that was obviously the incredible talent and strength he brings to this, but was Becca sort of standing behind him, doing the work behind the scenes, without wanting to get credit and without needing to get credit, that I think helped drive a lot of this. And what you all did, what Becca did, what Jean did, what all you did in Texas, and putting up that fight so early, so strong, I think put a lot of, puts a little more steel in all of our spines, right? That fighting this fight matters. And I really think that because of what you did, it led to a lot of these big wins that we had in November. We overperformed or won in something like 250 out of 270 races this year. I think because of what you did, it puts some the fear of God into Republicans about, what we can do when we come together. We saw that with Indiana today, right? We have Republicans who are like, oh, shoot, if we fight this, the Democrats are going to come after us. And I think that would not have happened without you all in Texas. That would not have happened without Jean. That would definitely not have happened without Becca. So thank you for doing all that. Let me just say, I, as Becca said, am the executive director of the Democratic National Committee. I am the second Asian American to ever serve in this role. Most people think I'm the first, and that makes me really sad. There was a woman named Simonanda who was the first executive director. She was executive director in 2017, and she was a South Asian woman, and she led the DNC at a very similar time when Donald Trump had just gotten elected. Democrats had lost, had severe headwinds. The party was, sort of, as they say, in disarray. And she did an incredible job pulling the party together, building our infrastructure, making it strong, giving us best-in-class technology, helping to really professionalize the party that, paved the way for huge wins in 2018 and obviously 2020 when Joe Biden was elected. I'm honored to follow that tradition, but I always think it's important for us to recognize her as well for a couple of reasons. One, if we don't tell our stories of leadership, we don't tell our stories of accomplishment and success, no one else will, right? So I think it's really important for us to celebrate that. And the second piece of this, and this is sort of something that we don't talk about enough in our community, we are not a monolith, but we have to see each other, right? Whether, it's fair that, people lump us all together like we're a monolith. We are a community, right? And if we don't recognize that diversity, if we don't recognize and embrace the fact that we're a community, no one else will. And that's where we lose our power. So Seema's a South Asian woman. I'm an East Asian man. We've both been in these positions. I think it's powerfully important. I think it's important to tell our stories because if we don't, no one else will. That said, I have also been honored to have been the first Asian American, along with Faz Shakir, who was Bernie Sanders' campaign manager, to run a United States presidential campaign when I worked for Elizabeth Warren in 2020. I've just been so blessed to do all the work that I've done and to be amongst leaders like Seema and Faz has been incredible. But I'll be honest, when I first got started, and this is what got me emotional when I was listening to all of you, when I first got started 27 years ago, I was alone. There weren't many Asian Americans. There weren't even that many people of color. To the extent that there were other people doing this work of people of color, there are people who were support staff. There were people who were told they could only work within their communities, right? And I don't think it's a secret. Unless you lived in California, there wasn't like many opportunities to do Asian American work, Asian American outreach for campaigns in places like even Boston, New York, et cetera. To see all of you do the work that you are now, to see people like Pooja running for office, seeing people like Becca running for office, seeing all of you, with your excited faces. And I know I Googled a few of you as I was listening to you speak, and to see the level of accomplishment and success that we have in Texas really gets me excited. I have a little bit of FOMO because I wish I had some of the some people to fight these fights with when I was younger. But to know that you're out there now, to know that you're out in Texas, in one of the most important states, it's just I know it means that our community is on the rise. So, like I said, we're not a monolith, and we shouldn't treat ourselves that way. Obviously, we all, we don't come from the same countries. We don't speak the same languages. We don't share the same faith. We don't have the same skin tone. Most of us have dark hair. I think, many of us eat rice, not all of us do. But, we all take off our shoes at home and we all make sure that we respect our families. And that's why we're here, right? It's about respecting our families. It's about building opportunity. It's about building opportunity and creating great opportunities for growth, education, success for our kids. It's keeping everyone safe. And it's truly, truly, truly about freedom and living the American dream. So we are the fastest growing community in this country. We are fastest, growing community within the Democratic Party. We're rising as individuals with, obviously people like Pooja running for office. We have Ghazali Hashmi, Lieutenant Governor in Virginia for the very first time, first Muslim. We got Zohran Mamdani, who went to my high school and is a state representative from the community I grew up in New York City. And obviously, Michelle Wu, whoever thought a Taiwanese American woman would be elected mayor of Boston? Boston, Catholic Irish Boston, right? Michelle Wu, someone with the last name Wu is now mayor. We're ascending. We're a community on the rise. But I think it's really important, as Pooja says, we've got to do it together, right? If we don't pull our community together, we won't, none of us will. And that's why seeing all your faces on camera, hearing all your stories, hearing the fight that you guys have in Texas, seeing you guys, going through the redistricting and seeing you guys come behind one another like you have for Pooja is such an inspiration. It makes me feel like Texas is on the rise. It's going to change. It's going to turn democratic, and it's going to be because of people and families like yours. So thank you for all you do. Happy presidential year. I hope you get a chance to celebrate all that you've accomplished in 35 years, and looking forward to the next 35. And I can't wait to see all of you in Texas. And I don't know if Ma Bell's going to be able to join us here, but she is just someone who's been an incredible mentor for me and just someone that fights for us every single day here at the Democratic National Committee. We all call her Ma Bell because she takes care of us. She feeds me. She makes sure that I stay, in line. And Becca is not, she's not falling far behind too. She makes sure I'm taken care of and behaving as well. So thank you all. It's great to join you all. And I see our Vice Chair Shasti as well. So I will shut up and pass it along to other great leaders. Thank you, Texas. Happy presidential year. See you soon.
Thank you so much, Roger. And thank you for when we talk about Mama Bell and how much she's done, you are carrying that legacy in a way that I can only hope to emulate at some point in the future. The work that you have done and really making sure that we are represented in the DNC in these seats and we're seen. And that is only done when we are willing to work together. And that brings me to the incredible Shasti Conrad. Shasti is the state party of Washington, and she is the vice chair and elected vice chair of the DNC. Shasti were you my second call, first call when we were trying to do the thing? I'm not sure, but Shasti hit the ground running in a way that was almost terrifying. So if you ever want to successfully overthrow a Republican agenda, Shasti Conrad is the woman you call, because not only does she get it done and work so hard for all of us, she knows literally everyone. You would never, look, she's smirking because she knows. She's like, oh, yeah. But at any rate, Shasti has been an incredible ally to Texas. She has done so much for AAPI Democrats and AAPI Democratic women, especially. I am so fortunate to have trauma bonded with her over the summer and to be able to continue to work with her moving forward. So, Shasti, take it away.
Thank you so much, Becca. And hi, everyone. It's so wonderful to be with all of you. Roger, Becca, and I are all at the DNC winter meeting in LA, but I haven't seen Roger yet. We've been sort of circling each other. So it's such a joy to be here with all of you. And I just, I want to give big praise, obviously, to Roger, who you just got to hear a snippet of who we get to learn from and be supported by in this work. He truly is just the greatest human, and we are so lucky that he is leading the DNC. And he builds not just for our Asian American community, but he always is there for all of us. And he's building this party for everyone. And it really is such a joy to get to follow him, not just in a speaking program, but also, just in this life and in this work. So much love to Roger. And Becca and I bonded earlier this year as I was running for this role that I eventually did get elected to as DNC vice chair. Becca and I did not know each other before all of this, but we immediately connected on the experience of being transracial adoptees, raised in predominantly white families, growing up in small towns and small communities as Asian Americans who are trying to figure out ourselves and sort of trying to find, the dolls that look like us when we were kids, and trying to be in this space and grow in the political space as Asian women trying to just get it done and try to help people. And so it's been such a joy to be in this work with Becca this entire year. And I know that it's already felt like we've lived many lifetimes with everything that has gone on this year, but I know that we will be in this work for the rest of our lives together. And I want to really praise all of you. I thought that I had misread 35th. I was like 3.5, right? There's no way that this amazing, amazing caucus has been around for 35 years. I just think that is so incredible and can teach so many of our parties around, this country how to get it done. Not every state party has an Asian American caucus. And the fact that you all have been doing this work and leading in this work for 35 years is mind-blowing and is something to be truly celebrated. And I hope that you all take a moment to really hold that. And I think, our community does a really strong job of recognizing the people who've come before us. You know, we feel so connected to our ancestors. We know the journeys that they've been on to come to the United States, how hard it has been to build at times in this country, and the ways in which they've built to bring us to the moment that brings us all together tonight. And I do want to lift up Mama Bell, as you heard both Becca and Roger talk about, just Ma Bell's unbelievable leadership for decades, for this country, for this party, and she really has shown all of us what is possible in the face of what has at times felt impossible. And she, I know, really wanted to be here tonight, but is facing some family issues and so wasn't able to join tonight. So I just wanted to uplift her. I'll just say, you all know, right? Like, we are obviously in one of the most perilous moments that this country has ever seen. And the Democratic Party was struggling this year. We were obviously in a bunch of, these stories around that we had lost our way and what could we do. And Texas, you gave us that lightning bolt of energy that got this party back up on its feet and fighting. We needed to see that it was possible to push back on the overreach that was coming from Trump and these MAGA Republicans and your governor and these people that think that we don't matter. And you did not take this fight sitting down. And your leadership, led by the amazing Jean Wu and all of the people who have supported him, all the electeds and all the people who behind the scenes who never got the credit, doing that work to come together to say, as Roger said, we don't know how this is going to end, but we're going to see it through. We are going to get up and we're going to do this. And honestly, I just hope you all really, really, really take in what you did for this country. I'm all the way up in Washington State, and my people back home in Washington were so grateful to see what you all could do. And ever since you took on that fight, the Democratic Party has come with a little bit more swagger. We've come a little bit like, all right, look at what we can do. We can do this. Look at what Texas showed us how to do. And it really has changed, I think, the trajectory that has helped get us to the moment we are in today, where we has, as Roger talked about, the overperformance, where we are winning elections up and down the ballot across this country. But also, I don't know if you all saw today, but in Indiana, the Indiana Republicans said no to Trump about redistricting. You think that happens if Texas hadn't stood up and fought? No, that is because even the Republicans are recognizing that what you all did is the standard bearer. That is what we are going to bring. That is what Americans want to see. And that is what you all are building. So I just want to say thank you. I want to thank every single one of you for being in this fight. I know that it is really, really, really hard. And I know that at times it's very lonely. I know that at times it is, you ask the question of like, why am I still trying? Why am I doing this? And then you see the fight that you all brought, and it reminds you that we can live another day because we have each other, because we are in this together, because we are not alone, because there are Rogers and Beccas and Ma Bells and every single one of you that has took the time tonight to be here. Pooja and Congressman Green, all of these folks, and all the people who never get named, who are in it doing the work. So I just will leave it at that, to just say thank you. Thanks for being that guiding light in a moment that felt like we were surrounded in darkness. Thank you for showing that our community is the difference makers, that we are the ones who actually, when we show up, when we turn out, we win elections that everyone tells us we could never win, and that it matters, that the organizing matters, that the conversations in the family WhatsApp chats and the WeChats and the over Thanksgiving dinner and at church, all of that stuff, all of that matters. And we are doing it, and we are on the path to victory. And we just have to continue to follow your lead and build with you to make sure that this whole country shows the fight that you all did this year. Thank you.
Madam Vice Chair, thank you so much. And I can't wait to see what we all get up to together next. I think it bears mentioning that we would not be sitting here without leaders like Mabel And here in Texas, without leaders like AJ Durrani and Ashley Chang, who paved the way forward to allow me to have the privilege of serving you. We know that every step that we take forward is a fight. And we are so, so incredibly fortunate to have these fighters had come before us and pave the way and show us how it's done. Thank you so much. And I have to acknowledge Nicolette here. Nicolette is leading this. Nicolette is everywhere. Nicolette has cloned herself in her basement. I just don't know how. Nicolette is the leader that my daughter gets to look up to. And I can't thank you enough.
Thanks, Becca. I think, honestly, thank you to all of our DNC reps. I know AJ Durrani was able to quickly flash on and quickly flash off, but all of our DNC reps, honestly, thank you for taking a chance on Texas. Thank you for listening to us, and thank you for being the leaders that we also do want to see reflected in every single place of leadership. Y'all are honestly continuing to help us inspire our community members, so thank you again. And please send all of our love and positive juju to Mama Bell, as we also would have loved to see her tonight, but totally understand. At this time, I'm going to pass it back over to Amatullah to introduce our next special guest.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much to our DNC representatives. I'm actually so hyped right now. I just want to parlay into a strategy session, but I know we got to keep going. But we definitely need to schedule one soon, and everything we can do to flip Texas blue, because the fight is definitely ongoing and we have a really uphill battle, but we're so ready for 2026. So without further ado, I'm really excited to introduce our next speaker, someone I get to call a really close friend and a leader who has inspired so many young AAPIs across Texas. He is the only Asian American on Austin City Council and the first ZO to be elected in a major city in the United States. Please welcome Austin City Council member Zohaib Qadri.
Hey y'all, it's Councilmember Zohaib Qadri outside of your Austin City Hall, and I'm so honored to have the distinction of being the only AAPI on the Austin City Council. It's not lost on me every time that I enter this building, the weight of that. But I also know that it's so important for us as a community.
We're going to retry that. Give us 1 second.
Hey y'all, it's Councilmember Zohaib Qadri outside of your Austin City Hall, and I'm so honored to have the distinction of being the only AAPI on the Austin City Council. It's not lost on me every time that I enter this building, the weight of that. But I also know that it's so important for us as a community, as an Asian community, to be mobilized, to make sure that we're registered to vote, to go out and vote, and to make sure that folks see the political power of the AAPI community here in Texas. There's so much good that we can do when we all come together. And I also wanted to take this time to congratulate AADT on 35 years. I'm so thankful for all the movers and shakers that have come before me that have laid the groundwork for myself to be in office. And I can't wait that, in several years when I'm out of office to be supporting the next generation of Asian leaders in this state. So congrats again, and let's win big in 2026.
Awesome. Thank you again to Council Member Zohaib Qadri. Yes, he is the first Zoe that we got in a major city, in a top 10 city in the nation. But we're possibly thinking about what would it look like if we had a Zoe squared moment, a Zohaib and a Zoran in the same space. I think I don't know. Zoom might combust. I'm not too sure. So we're gonna keep on moving, and we do again appreciate Council Member Qadri joining us this evening. Next up, I have the great distinction and honor to also introduce our organizing powerhouse sponsor of tonight's program and tonight's evening, and honestly, the best other hype woman you need in your life, besides myself, of course, is the Honorable Judge Christine Weems. I'd like to pass the mic over to her to really share some other additional tidbits of just amazingness from, again, Judge Christine Weems.
Hello, everybody. I am always happy to support y'all. When I first took the bench, it was more a matter of principle because, you don't really think about the fact that we elect judges and that if you want to be a judge and you want to do good and you want to go, be fair on the bench, that it turns you into a politician. So I did not start off this journey being a politician, and that sounded like the most horrible thing I could ever imagine being. And I'm sure like a lot of you, my parents, politician was not on the list of things I was allowed to do. Again, like everybody else, doctor, engineer, maybe a lawyer, but a politician was kind of, not something that we should be doing. We shouldn't be putting ourselves out there. We shouldn't be worried about working on representing people. But here I am, and I feel so fortunate that I've gotten to know so many of you, particularly last cycle. I appreciated all of your support when I was running statewide in 2024 for the Texas Supreme Court. And I have to tell you, that is kind of like one of the most encouraging things I saw. I mean, I'm not going to lie, November hurt. November didn't hurt just because I lost, because okay, we're not ready to have a Democrat win statewide in Texas. It is what it is. It sucks, but it is what it is. It hurt for the country. Like, I think losing the United States hit me harder and hurt me worse than the fact that I lost, right? And what I had to keep reminding myself and telling myself, it's like, okay, Texas is not ready. I still lost by like 1.6 million votes statewide. But you know what's kind of crazy to think about? I got over 4 million votes in Texas, right? And it's crazy to think about because I think we constantly think about how we're kind of alone. We're a blue dot in a huge red state, and there aren't very many of us, and we're kind of far apart. And thank God for the magic of Zoom that we could all be together on a night like tonight and pump each other up and get each other excited. But that was one of the best things that I saw running across the whole state, was in places that I did not think there would be hardly any blue dots, like Nacogdoches, like Lubbock, that there were organizers like y'all who are super excited about seeing other Democrats and mobilizing together. And even though they weren't ready to make a dent, like they couldn't make a dent yet in their county, in their spaces, that they were still willing to fight, right? And as everyone has said before us, we are rising with regards to Asian population in Texas. And fortunately, I think we all know the generation above ours, they're kind of red. Thankfully, they're kind of non-voting red, which is like my parents were like totally non-voting red, which is great. They can stay red and stay at home. But like our generation, the generation below us, right? They lean more blue, and they just need to be motivated to understand why they're sorry, David, that sucks. My parents never voted, right? But they were totally red. I'm sorry your parents don't stay at home if they're voting red. But don't let their shame stop you from doing what you need to do, which is what you have been doing, which is mobilizing people, right? And I think the generation underneath ours, they just need to understand why it matters. And I think that's the hard part, breaking through the noise. So it sucks because I lost in 2024 and I've got to run again in 2026 to keep my day job here in Harris County. And the one thing that we've been talking about and we've been thinking, and I think I want to put a bug in all of y'all's ear to think about, is this. What do we do to break through all the noise, right? I mean, the things that worked in 20 18 in 2022 and 2024 to get out the vote, to me, just don't seem to work now. Block walking, people don't answer their doors. Mailers, people don't get the mail anymore. Text messages, I ignore every single fundraising text message I get because I get like 10 of them a day. Emails don't work for that same reason. I think one of the best things that we can do is be proactive in our own little networks of people, right? Like it needs to be kind of like a spider web. It starts with you and you tell your people and you tell your people and they tell their people and it just kind of spreads. Which now that I think about it, sounds kind of like what did they call them? Like chain letters, right? But not with a nefarious end. It's with a positive spin on it that, if we just keep reaching out to like a pyramid scheme, it's an electoral pyramid scheme, right? That's kind of how we need to look at it. We're just going to branch out and it's going to trickle down. And that's how we're going to get people to come out and see why it matters. Because I think that more in-person contact, right? Like it may not be somebody you know, but if it's like somebody that you know who knows somebody who's running for office, then it might start motivating people. Yeah, I know, an election pyramid scheme. Sounds maybe not the right. We need better marketing to figure out what we need to call it. But you know what I mean, right? I think like that's kind of what we need to break through the noise to get people excited. Because it's hard to get people away from their screens and their phones, but at the same time, it's hard to get people to actually, while they're on their phones, open up a text message from you, open up an email from you and get them excited by another piece of what they think is going to be spam. That is why I'm always happy to support this organization and the efforts that you do, just because growing up, there were not a lot of people who looked like me. I grew up in Spring, Texas, a northern suburb of Houston. Whole lot of white people. The only other Asian people I knew were all in orchestra with me because I was an orchestra person. And then just same thing when I was in college and law school. I didn't hang out with a lot of Asian people, and it wasn't literally until I started running for office and people pointed out to me, it's like, yo, you know what? You're going to be the first Vietnamese person to be on the bench in Harris County. Crazy. It's like the second largest Vietnamese population in the United States behind Orange County. How can I be the first one? There were a whole bunch of Vietnamese lawyers who came before me. And then I thought about it, and they're mostly transactional. But, it's true. They were mostly transactional. But I take a lot of pride in that because you know what? I have been places, I have seen younger lawyers, Asian lawyers who come up to me and like, I never really thought about being a trial lawyer before until I met you. I never really thought about being able to use my voice and speaking on behalf of others in court because they weren't raised to be an outspoken person, and they just need to see more outspoken people like me, like you, like everybody on this call. So y'all keep doing what you're doing, because to use an analogy that's better than my election pyramid scheme one, what we are doing is a spark that is just going to keep building into a bigger and bigger flame that's just going to motivate more and more people to realize, to have hope, and to get excited about the potential and the things that we can do. So congratulations to AADT on 35 years. I'm looking forward to and hope to be alive for the next 35 years and to be here for your 70th. But thank you all for everything you guys have done. It is greatly appreciated, more than you know. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Judge Weems. I can tell you, honestly, and I think I've told you this many times too, when I saw your name on the ballot, I thought to myself, oh, wow, maybe I could even be something else, that whatever I wanted to be, right? I saw someone who was Asian on the ballot. And the same thing was with Becca. When Becca was first on the ballot, I was like, oh my God, there's an Asian girl. There's an Asian girl running for state house. Like, this is real. And that's what we want to do, right? Being members of AD, but being a part of an organization that uplifts other AAPIs to run for office and run campaigns is all about just showing up for each other and showing up for our community. Again, the best way we know how. So thank you so much, Judge Weems, for being with us tonight. We're going to move and groove just because we are running behind time. And again, appreciate every single one of y'all that have joined on all the way up to the wee end. And we're going to also hear from some folks who are running on the ballot to this upcoming March. So please stay with us. We still have so much to talk about and so much to be proud of, as again, this is our 35th birthday anniversary. So I'm going to pass the mic back over to our AADT president, the one and only Amatullah, to give us an update on our fundraising tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I do want to say something about Judge Weems. You talked about how you've really inspired a generation of trial lawyers, but then I also have to add how much you've inspired a generation of organizers, because I don't even think if you know this, but in 2017, I was interning at this law firm and Judge Weems was running to flip a seat that she did. And I would watch her every single day, Monday to Friday, take yard signs out of the trunk, put them back. And I never had the courage to talk to you. And I would just ask people around, I'm like, is she gonna win? Is she gonna win? And everyone would just like shrug their shoulders, not sure. But she's running, she's raised, she's got a family, she's still out there, she's doing this all by herself. And you did it. You flipped that seat. I have seen it as a student in college, just watch you work and flip that seat and win power for our community. So you've definitely inspired a generation of lawyers, but you've also inspired a generation of organizers, and we're going to keep trying new things so that we can continue to flip Texas and get more AAPI representation across the state. And we're going to keep lifting you up because you're doing amazing work for our community. And I hate that I have to give these remarks after hearing these amazing, amazing speakers who have been emotional, exciting, so passionate about our community, about AAPI representation, about Texas. And honestly, as president, and I don't want to cry again for maybe like the seventh, eighth time on the Zoom, I'm so proud of our caucus, of our team. Once again, I don't think they get enough recognition, enough shout outs. Nicolette, David, Lakshmi, Maha, you guys, Becca, you guys are doing such incredible work out into the community and inspired by people like Pooja, by Judge Weems, by Judge Collier, by Judge Matthew, so many elected officials across the state that have really, Judge Clinton, that have paved the way for us to do this work, to give us the confidence that we need to go out there. And we're going to keep trying new things. We're going to keep talking to people. And to use the words of Judge Weems, because I think I'm obsessed with this new phrase, the election pyramid scheme, the best way to organize is to call all your friends, right? Contact 10 people that you know, and we ask them to call 10 people that they know. And that's what we're doing here at AADT leading up to 2026. We're going to build that kind of infrastructure and movement for our community so that people understand that the Asian American community in Texas, we are a force to be reckoned with. We are the margin of victory when we turn out. We decide who gets to represent us. And we cannot be silenced. We will not be ignored. We will continue to advocate for our communities, right? For when it comes to anti-alien land laws, whether it is for Free Palestine, we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can in Texas for our communities and for, all of our AAPI community members abroad. And so I have to make the ask. Thank you so much for joining us, for celebrating 35 years with us, but we need your support. I have two asks for the members on this call. One, if you're not already, please become a member of our caucus. Our membership gets to vote. Our membership also gets to help join our endorsement committee to help us endorse candidates that represent our values and our community. I also ask that you donate. As much as you can. If you've already contributed, please consider doubling your contribution and give us the resources that we need to implement an organizing program for 2026. That means hiring an AAPI coalitions director to go out there across the state of Texas to convene organizers, to build our volunteer base and uplift our endorsed candidates that are not just AAPIs, but also those that are allies of our community. We uplift at AADT good candidates. good representatives that are going to do right by us and our community, but right by all Texans. And so please consider making a contribution. David, my good friend, or Nicolette are going to put the link in the chat. Thank you. Please consider making a donation to support our caucus. Please also contact 5 of your friends and ask them to become a member of AADT, because our caucus is only as strong as our membership, and it's doing pretty well so far, if I must say so myself, but we need an even bigger caucus. We want more representatives. We want the largest delegation we could possibly procure in history at the TDP convention, voting, choosing who represents us in our state, but also choosing what our party represents. And that means we need to be involved in every aspect of this party to continue to make our voice heard and make sure that we continue to build our power, we remain powerful, and that we continue to do amazing work in our caucus. And so with that, I will pass it back to Nicolette, but please consider, in the strongest of words, and you've already heard everyone else here talk about the work that AADT has done, help us celebrate 35 really strong for another 35 years. Please make a contribution to AADT today. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Amantola. And I did want to highlight, you don't have to be someone of AANHPI background or ethnicity to be a part of the caucus. Everybody is welcome. And I'm really delighted to actually share on the screen right now is that we have raised $10,810 for this event, for our fundraiser tonight. So that is all in part to each and every single one of y'all that are on this call tonight, not only to support the work that we do, but sharing around with different candidates and members about exactly what the important work that AADT gets to do in service of our communities. Amatula was talking about hiring our own coalitions director. This is someone who's going to be able to get voting resources AAPI Asian languages to our voters, right? So this is making sure that there's enough in English, in Chinese, in Vietnamese, right? Like, we want to see the expansion of just more accessibility for all of our community members to be able to vote informed and vote in a language that is comfortable to them, right? We also know the AAPI community has a large immigrant community, right? So English may or may not be the first language. They may be limited English proficient, right? We need somebody that is a trusted member of our community help advocate for that, and also find innovative and creative ways to meet our voters and make sure that we're electing Democrats up and down the ballot all throughout the state of Texas. So thank you again for considering to donate a little bit more if you can. But honestly, thank you so much for over 10,810 reasons to support AADT. That gives me butterflies. I know I'm really excited to share. We've got some folks, our featured candidates, that are also going to share a couple words of why they're here, why they're also an AADT member, and why they're also a candidate, an AAPI candidate on the ballot for the upcoming March primaries. So I'd love to introduce first our newest trustee-elect for Houston Independent School District, Miss Maria Benson.
Well, hello. I hope you can hear me. I'm super excited to be here. I have actually won my position already. It was in November, but I just want to thank AADT and all just an amazing group of people who supported the campaign. I actually ran 4 years ago for the same position in Houston ISD for the trustee position. And back then, I knew nothing. I just knew I'm an educator. I have a PhD. I want to do right for kids and our community. And I lost. But then a lot of people were very supportive and said, you got to do this again. You got to try again. And so for everybody that's out there that may not have, might have aspirations or want to make a difference in the world, sometimes it takes a lot of tries. Sometimes it definitely takes more than one. That I'm really excited to be here tonight and to just share very briefly that it's funny to hear all the stories, because I think my family too was very disappointed when I said I was going to be a teacher, because they immigrated to our country here in order for me to be a doctor, a lawyer, all those other wonderful professions. But I think that public education is a super important area that our government is currently not doing a very good job of supporting financially. Teachers are leaving, and we all know that education is a very important piece to opportunity, and that it should be for everybody. There should be an opportunity for everyone who's in our country and in the world to be as educated as possible, and to open doors through education. So I just want to thank everybody that's here. I don't want to talk too long because I just know it's been a long night already. But I'm just so excited to be the first person of color in my position. It's not the first person, it's not the first Asian who has served on the HISD board, but I am. I realize I'm the first person of color, non-white person who's in this position, so I'm really excited about that. And I also just realized too, not just realized, but it's very important, I think, for representation, of course, but also as my daughter is trying to figure out what she wants to be when she grows up. I think it's super, it's just a great place to be, to connect with others who are making a difference, who are trying to lead through service. And so I thank everybody here, whether you're just a block walker, just a caller, just a candidate for something. And so I just think that that's great. We have to keep putting ourselves out there and representing our community, not just for us, but also for our kids and for others that are watching us. So thank you again so much, and happy 35th birthday. And I look forward to working with more of you all very soon. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Maria. I do also want to highlight Dr. Audrey Nath is also with us this evening. She also ran for Houston ISD. Although she came up a little bit short, we still are so excited for what you're going to be able to do next, as I hear there may be something that does happen next. If you want to take a quick moment just to say something.
My goodness, thank you, AADT, for endorsing me in my race for school board, also in HISD. I was up against a MAGA bazillionaire incumbent, so I got 46% of the vote, and I'm proud of the 3,000 doors that I knocked on. I am now considering running for Houston City Council in a special election, and will keep you guys informed as I make that decision. But the support of you guys has been incredible. And I want to mirror what Maria said. If anyone out there is thinking about it, maybe considering running for office, please get in touch with any of us. Good to see y'all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nath. I also have the highly privilege of actually seeing Mama Bell has joined us via phone. And Mama Bell is actually she is like, for folks that know Spanglish, she's the meta. She's like the top notch of all the top notches when we think of AANHPI organizing throughout the nation. And I'm so honored. Mama Bell, we would love to hear from you if you have a couple of moments to say. I'm honestly so honored that you're here.
Hi. Good evening, everybody. Sorry for not showing up a little bit earlier. I was having a little technical difficulties. But I am so privileged to be here to say congratulations, happy birthday. This is such a monumental feat that you all have accomplished. 35 years as an AAPI caucus. I am so, so, so proud of you. I remember coming to visit Texas for one of our meetings and meeting with the AAPI caucus back, I think this was back like in 2001. And I was so amazed that that we actually had an AAPI caucus in Texas. That was when I first met Minnie Timmaraju. She was one of your leaders at the time there. Parat Mehta, who was part of the DNC staff, was the one that actually wanted to make sure that I showed up there. So I want to reflect a little bit on the accomplishments that you and your caucus have achieved, and so one of the things that we're most proud of is how you're leading this fight for all of us. It is a fight for democracy. So congratulations to Jean Wu. You are a leader amongst leaders, and congratulations to each and every one of you for supporting him and for all of the folks that are fighting the good fight. Because of you, the movement to fight back against this unconstitutional redistricting has taken fire. And so in California, you have Governor Newsom has spearheaded an effort to make sure that if Texas is going in this one way, then California will counter. And because all of what you have been doing, my own state, which is actually a blue state except for one district, has also signed up and say, hey, here we are. So what you do for one district, for one community matters, and it matters especially in this time when democracy is at stake. So I can't say enough about what you all have accomplished. I can't say enough about the wonderful leadership that you have in Texas, and we look forward to continuing success and to another 35 and 100 years. So thank you from the bottom of all of our hearts. Texas, you're leading the way, and we're very grateful for your leadership.
Thank you so much, Mama Belle.
Love you.
Love you. Take care. Bye.
We love you.
Thank you. Bye. Okay, I will see you all soon, okay?
Sounds good. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hey, y'all.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm so fangirling.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
I'm so fangirl. Thank you so much, Mama Belle. All right, we do have a couple more candidates, and then honestly, y'all, this has just been so much fun. I'm so glad all of y'all are staying on with all of us. With just so much praise and power, and just so much excellence in this room. I always toot around. This is Asian excellence, right? Showing up for each other and being in spaces and making space for one another to live their most authentic lives and be in community is just it's top notch. So I'm excited to actually introduce to the mic a dear friend who's actually running for House District 117 in good old San Antonio, my friend Robert Mihara.
Hi, all. My name is Robert Mihara, and I'm running for House District 117, which you're not familiar with, covers far west and south side San Antonio. I'm a retired Army officer and pro bono attorney. I think for me, being an Asian Texan Democrat means fighting for the marginalized voices and applying the hard-earned lived experiences of the Japanese American internment in the years afterwards, and applying the historical memory to fight for every marginalized community. I think running for office is just one way of connecting with that history, but it is important, obviously, as we all know, for the way it connects us to the affirmative claim for political power. For too long, as others have talked about, there's been a tacit presumption that Asian Americans don't need a seat at the table or somehow don't fit the culture of political leadership. And so for me, stepping forward as a candidate is my way of acting out to call out that misconception. I say Asian Americans are a vital community within Texas, numerically, economically, and culturally. It's true across the country, and it should not be any less true here in Texas. So it's a real privilege for me to celebrate the anniversary of AADT as a first-time candidate, to benefit from the community that you all have built, and to be part of this community. I look forward to what we'll accomplish together in this coming year and in the years to come.
Thank you so much, Robert. Appreciate you. Thank you for zooming from the car. We know candidate life is hard. You're coming in from the car. Wherever you can come from, we're so appreciative. And thank you again for stepping up to run. Next up, I want to introduce Daniel Lee. He is also running for Texas House. He's running for Texas House District 26. Daniel, the mic is yours.
Thank you guys for having me. My name's Daniel Lee. I'm running for House District 26. That includes Richmond, Katy, and Rosenberg. Katy, Asiatown is right above where my district lies, and I would say that 1 out of every 3 voters in this district is Asian American. I'd really love to see our amazing, diverse group of leaders. Just want to give a shout out to Judge Weems, the hardest working judge that I can see in Harris County. You see that she's still in the courthouse while the windows are dark. That's how hard she's working, and a true testament to us being, AAPI. We're known for working hard, and she already won the position. She's still doing it, right? So just quick shout out to her for being a leader, even when she's already, in the spot already. I'll say this: this is my 3rd time running, and it's my 3rd time running since the Republicans redrew the lines. And each cycle we've grown stronger, and the gaps have closed. I remember I actually met Becca in Houston when Judge Sakai was having his fundraiser, and we ran together at that moment. And these campaigns are they're so rough, stressful, and this is literally my 4th campaign in a row. And so we got to keep the energy going, and the gaps are closing. And I see a big group of people that are energized and hardworking. And, honestly, there's times that I know I've wanted to quit and say, why am I still doing this? Especially in 2024 when we lost, the presidency, I was questioning on whether or not I wanted to run it back. But groups like ours here that have been around for 35 years, endorsing me in the past over and over again, and coming together have really energized me to come back in full force. This year I do have a primary opponent, but we know as Asian Americans, we face a lot of issues that other people don't face. And I see that whether it's in our small businesses, whether it's the tariffs affecting our communities, watching, our neighbors struggle, it really, really motivates me to fight and fight harder. So just wanted to, thank you for allowing me to celebrate the caucus's 35th anniversary. And, I'm glad to be here and sponsor and honor the decades of organizing and voter engagement that make, people like Judge Weems and Representative Jean Wu help them become successful in their campaigns. And as our elders keep laying the foundation, now it's our turn to build the next generation of the AAPI political power. And, obviously, it seems like we're alone, especially in Texas, but we're not, because we keep growing. I mean, I'm in Fort Bend County. There are so many Asians here. In fact, this year I've noticed that there's a lot of Republicans on the other side, whether it's county judge or whether it's a Democrat flipping into a Republican seat. We're everywhere. And the goal for us should be making sure that, we maintain that our community stays on this side, on the blue side, not the red side. And it always seems like it's a daily, if not weekly fight. I mean, I know that I was in church fighting with some Republicans, unfortunately, the other day, and, trying to get them to like support our side. So just wanted to let y'all know I'm here. House District 26 is ready. We're ready to flip the seat. And with your partnership, I think that this 3rd run will be a successful one. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Daniel. Next up, we have the one and only Sophia Anwar, candidate for the Justice of the Peace, Denton County, Precinct 6. Sophia, the mic is yours.
Thank you so much, Nicolette. And I want to say Nicolette told me to wear sparkly, and so I did because I have learned that if you listen to Nicolette, you will always be, moving in the right space. And I also did a quick outfit change because I realized I have my Asian American Democrats of Texas shirt too, so I had to make sure that I got that out. It's a favorite to sleep in, but also be out in. Um, my name is Sophia Noir. I'm running for Justice of the Peace here in Denton County, in Carrollton, Castle Hills, Plano, and a little bit of Dallas. That is in Denton County. Um, I just want to say I remember being like I was at UT. I actually went to UT the same time as Zoe did. So funny that our paths have like crossed in such a new and different way. So really, it like there are so many of us, and but at the same time, like we're such a small knit community, and we always come to help each other, which I think is just something that's so wonderful. Um, our Asian community really is a safe space for us. Politics is tough. Public service can be tough too, because you really don't know sometimes who you can ask the questions that you don't know the answers to, who you can reach out to when you don't know what is happening, or if you just want to talk through the crazy things that are happening. And there are so many people on this call that I have done that too. I have been very proud to serve on the SDEC with folks like Nicolette, with David, with Nabila, and I cornered Nabila in a bathroom and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about running for this, but I don't know. I need you to talk to me." I did FaceTimes and had Nicolette come over to my house and tell me more about running for this seat. And I had probably the most like consequential coffees of my life with Becca, and I left with that feeling assured that this was a seat that I needed to fight for, not just because I am the candidate for it, and not because I am the person who will make the most impact in the seat, because also this seat deserves someone who will represent it. Carrollton and Castle Hills has one of the largest Korean, Filipino, and South Asian populations in Texas. And that is not a small feat. That is a very big deal, and we deserve to have someone in this seat who's going to celebrate that, but also bring more folks into that space. And so I'm very, very happy to do so. I remember when I think we've talked about this theme of, there's a doctor, there's a lawyer, there's a person, maybe even an engineer, but government is not something that we go into. I remember being a student at UT and applying for the White House, and I had a best friend who said, "You can't just do that." And I remember saying, "No, but like you can. There's actually like there really is an application, and I'm doing it." And I told her like kind of this long dream I have of once I get to DC, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. And I remember she just said like that's just not how it works. And I think about that almost every day because I have two young daughters and I want to show them that like you can do anything. And it's really cool that I bring my kids along to a lot of my meetings. Half the time I don't have childcare, so I have to do that. But they're like, they always just look around to me and say like, "Mama, are these people gonna like vote for you? Like that's why they're here." And I'm like, "Yeah, kind of." And so it's a really cool space to be able to share that this is a possibility. This is a viable path for us and for future folks too, and that we can do multiple things. We can be that kid who, had orchestra practice and can, be like Mayor Wu, who can be the mayor and nurse her child and then also go and play the piano all on the same day. And we contain multitudes and we can do that. So you can serve in the White House like I have. You can serve in Congress like I have. You can serve at the state ledge like I have, and you can still show up for your community proudly in all of you. So for me, that means showing up as a proud Pakistani, showing up as a proud Muslim, showing up as a proud Democrat, and not ever feeling shy of all my identities. And so I'm really proud to do that. And I am proud to be part of this space with all of you. Happy birthday, happy 35th. It's so, so cool to hear sort of these origin stories. Folks who can say like they were sitting on a dining table and put things together. It really all does have to start somewhere. And I just can't wait for, the 70th and the 100th and for folks to share our stories to say, I remember when I saw Nicolette Wen or Becca Wen or Nabila Wen or David Wen. So I just can't wait for those stories, and I'm so grateful to play a small part here. And I'm an original Houston girly, so I will be in Houston this Saturday, and I hope to see a lot of folks as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sophia. That wraps up our AAPI candidates that are on the ballot. So I'd love to open up I'd love to actually ask, maybe Joe Jaworski, do you want to say a quick hi to folks?
Well,
You've
I
been
do.
on the whole time with all of us, so I appreciate you.
Well, this is a rare night for me to be at home, and this Zoom opportunity, it was just like the perfect fit, Nicole. So it's just been so great seeing so many friends on this call. I have taken notes. It is so inspiring. And let me say, I'm running for Texas Attorney General to be your fighter in the office because things are grim out there, but not here tonight. I mean, right now, the Justice Department is reported to have just released a memo calling for a cash reward system that would encourage Americans to report suspected domestic terrorist activity. So they're going to pay people to rat each other out. In the meantime, here in Texas, Nicolette, you know the good news that our new chairman, Kendall Scudder, led and organized something that's not happened since Watergate, which is every single race will have a Democrat running in it. And so, as a statewide, I want to ask you to really feel good about our chances right now. And I want you to know, as your Attorney General, should you guys bless me with your support, and the votes are there in 2026, the Republicans are going to be the ones talking about Sharia law and Muslim hate. Meantime, your Democratic candidates are going to be talking about helping people tame the savageness of man and make gentle our life here in America. And so, in that regard, I will sue to end vouchers. I will reverse the pleadings to restore the Texas Dream Act. I will reverse the pleadings to fight and end the 2025 maps. And I will take great pleasure in being a mature mentor to all young Texans. In fact, I will dedicate my entire 4-year term to the young adults of Texas. And that's not just talk. I will enforce the Texas Election Code, Nicolette, which requires all high school principals, public, private, charter, religious, whatever school, to offer registration twice a year to the senior class. Can you imagine, in just public education alone, Nicolette, 400,000 graduate every May. And that's just the public schools. And as the population grows, the number 400,000 grows. In a 4-year term, that's 1.2 million new voters. We talked a little bit about generation washing out some of the hate from the older generation. That's Texas's future, and I want to be part of it. And I am so proud to have been here tonight to listen to these success stories. Happy 35th anniversary.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joe, for those kind words. As David mentioned, now we're actually about to get ready for our actual toast. So please grab a beverage that you like, whether it's hot or cold, alcoholic or not, whatever you're feeling tonight. You do want to have everybody, if you're in a spot too, to also come on camera, so that way we can raise a toast. Hey, we're gonna raise a toast to the Asian American Democrats of Texas, to all of you who are part of this amazing program tonight, and all to our allies and partners throughout the state. Thank you for making the first 35 the easiest. I'll say easiest, because we're on to the next 35 to glory. So thank you. Congratulations again to Asian American Democrats of Texas. Congratulations to all of y'all to making it to the end of our program tonight. And thank you so much again, sincerely, from the bottom of our hearts, from deep in the heart of Texas. Thank you, and have a blessed night. Take care. Bye-bye. Woohoo! Everyone. Oh, man.